Hey, happy Friday. How's it going? Welcome to Pop Up Stage. I am Mag, and of course, my superb rock star co host, Darren Tay from An Honest
Woo.
Mistake. How's your Friday, Darren?
Yeah, it's good. I am finally done. I can say, okay, last week we talked about this, that I was on a course, a
That's
production
right.
course, and last Monday we finally graduated. So it was a quick 8 day
Woohoo!
course, so
Nice.
yeah, it's called CAA.Asia, so if you guys are musicians and producers, you want to check it out, please go on, head to the website and all that. So yeah, I'm done. So for the past few days, I've been completely free. I'm just back to making music again, and it's been fun. In fact, I actually just recorded something earlier, just before coming onto the show.
Woohoo!
So Friday
And
is
I
good.
believe and I believe that you have something on coming on as well, isn't it?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, this weekend, correct.
Yeah. So this weekend, I am on the panel on this music. I mean, it's a music conference called Empower by Amplify Asia. It's a group of individuals, of producers and label people and all that. They came together to form this thing, and essentially, it's a music conference. It's education for artists and musicians all over Malaysia. So we've got
Nice.
Raul from the Bee speaking. We've got Shiva and Navin from Fly and Hits, and we've got people from MACP, and it's pretty much a wholesome thing, lah. So it's gonna be good. So if you're a musician or an artist, or if you're a new artist and you want to gain an understanding of what makes the industry tick, this is definitely the conference to go to. It's free to attend, and yeah, I mean it's 11 a.m. all the way to about 6 or 7 p.m. So it's
It's a full day
it's
course.
it's a full day thing, but it's all online. You can jump in and out if you want,
Yeah.
but it's gonna be good. It's definitely good knowledge, and what better way to equip ourselves with free knowledge. So yeah.
Knowledge by itself is technically free if you think about it,
Exactly. But when
You
it
can
comes to like the
source for it
music,
everywhere.
yeah. But when it comes to like things in the music industry, sometimes there are a lot of things that are unsaid, or maybe you may not have learned about it yet. So
That's
this
true.
is actually very very good.
Yep.
Now you got people telling you, I am Malaysians lah. We like to be spoon fed, right? So instead of you doing your own research, now we got people telling you, okay? So it's good. Sign up, okay?
All right, of course, if you are a musician and you've released something new as well, you can be a part of this show because we want you to be part of the show. All you got to do is drop us a line at our email. It is popupstagemy@gmail.com. We'd love to have you on the show to chit chat about yourself as well as your music and time. Every now and then we actually give you details like what's coming up, like that cost that Darren's on the panel for this weekend. Something to help empower you, help to increase your knowledge, and make you a better musician at the end of the day as
Exactly.
well. So to kickstart pop-up stage, as always, we've got a bulletin board where we'll bring you, or rather we'll suggest some songs that you can check out over the weekend. It's newly released Malaysian music. So what do we have today?
All right. So today we have a bunch of really new songs, and I'm actually very very happy to share these with you. So let's check them out right now. So this first one is by a girl from Penang. Okay, she's exactly like Lin. So Marusa Lin, she's a Filipino who grew up in Malaysia. So and they are actually related, right? So this
Oh,
girl, she goes by Hara Tunes, okay? And she's absolutely amazing. She's a great singer. She's been singing in pubs and doing all these tiny little gigs, and finally she's gotten to putting out her first ever track, okay? So let's check it out. This song is called Dreamland Bay by Hara Tunes. Let's go. So Reckless Escapades produced this. Yeah. Let's check it out.
I don't ever want to leave this place. Now, do you agree? live this every day? Would you run away with me? Painting pictures in our dreams, not our reality. Oh, here I am so anxious, I don't want to leave. The start of the unknown, could fate just let us be? Say follow the flow to places only we both know. I want to believe it. Oh, I want to believe it.
Cool.
Very nice.
Yeah, very nice. I mean,
Well, how do you spell her name again?
Hara as in Hara, and then Tunes,
Okay.
Tunes.
Hara Tunes. So she is
Yeah.
related to Marusa.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Nice.
I
Okay.
guess like all the Filipinos in Malaysia are, kind of like connected. They all like know each other, just like Yasmin as well, like she knows all, they have like this tiny little secret community going. Yeah, which is
But
great.
having said that, Reckless, he's a
Hard.
very hardworking producer, and he can churn out music like that in no time. So
Yep,
yeah, gotta give them props for actually working really hard in what they do. So yeah.
That's true.
What do we have
yeah,
next?
let's move on to the next one. Okay, we actually have so we had Maha Jeffrey on the show recently, and he
Yep.
featured Leon Sapphire. Now this
Yeah.
is Leon's own track. It's called Young Love. Okay, let's check it out.
Nice.
It's a short song, 2 minutes only, but let's check it out. Ooh, that lo-fi old school hip hop beat.
I can be your player if you want that.
Nice.
Spread it out on my lips, it's a common concept. I'm looking through your features. Her body's torn by the night before mine. Transformed her, tease love, don't reward it. I'm still dwindled in love tonight. Most nights look alright, but yours were the times. I swam a river with a free lover. Dislike my white t-shirt, dislike the last night with her. Cause I'm a sucker for kind words. Yeah, is this over? Cause I don't wanna touch again. Your love, but twice the pain. Yeah, there's reasons we don't touch, cause drive me insane. You're the movers, but twice the pain. Call me up whenever.
Very nice.
Very nice. He's got a very unique sound
Yeah,
to his
yeah.
voice, and I like it.
I
Yeah.
think it's like this kind of song is perfect for like evenings, like you want to just chill and, like perfect for Sunday afternoons, that kind of thing. Like a lazy, rainy day kind of vibe.
Yeah, I
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like it. Nice. All right. Next up,
So that's Leon Sapphire, Young Love. Okay, so if you guys
Leon
want to check
Sapphire
out,
also happens to be a part of his band, correct?
yes, yeah. So you know how it is, with bands, right? Everybody jumps into everybody's band, and they're also individual artists too. But let's check this next one out. It's a brand new one by Tom. Okay, THOM. This is Falling for You. A lot of that lo-fi vibe that everybody's doing that.
Sounds so retro, though.
Yeah.
Like a little Anita Sarawak kind of vibe.
I see the look on your face. Every night I wanna think about you. Every passing day I just feel like a fool. Girl, you're living in my head 24/7 and free. No, I'm
It's a very, very cool track. I definitely dig that. But I also feel like the mix could be better because like the vocals, it's buried in the back, which is a little bit odd. Maybe that's the kind of style that he's going for. But personally for me, I would have preferred if the vocals were a little bit more upfront. And then yeah, because when it hit the chorus, all the instruments started sounding a lot louder. So if it was a better mix, it would have, been greater. But whichever works lah for the artist.
So that's Tom as in THOM, correct?
THOM, yeah, that's
All
the
right.
track. It's called Falling For You. So we shared three tracks with you guys, and if you want to check out the entire playlist that I've made, it's called New Malaysian Releases. It's on Spotify. It's a playlist that I made. So go on, check it out. You can check out like songs from the previous weeks that I've added before as well. So basically every week where, that playlist is constantly, songs are constantly being added to it.
Added.
So by the end of the year, I reckon, there'll be like a couple of 100 songs, I'm sure. So yeah.
I'm sure. And then, and in case you missed it like last week or the week before, at least you're updated the moment you go check out that playlist, so you won't be left behind. Yeah.
Exactly. Especially when when and if my computer fails, while playing it halfway. Okay, so y'all can still go and check that playlist.
Yeah,
out.
so then you potong steam because Darren's computer stopped halfway. You cannot hear the rest of the song. You can always head on to Spotify.
Yes.
Now, of course, if you're watching us, welcome to show. This is Pop-Up Stage. We are just about to introduce our guest for this afternoon. But hey, if you're fans and your viewers and you're just getting to know him perhaps, and you have questions to ask him as well, you're more than welcome to type in your questions in the comment section below, and we will, we'll ask him the question for you. All right. But in the meantime, Darren, who do we have this afternoon on the show?
We have a legend. Okay, this guy, he's been in the scene for the longest time. He singer-songwriter. He's played festivals. He is also a lecturer. He's also involved in a I guess I can't call it non-government because it's government supported, right? Yeah. So he's also a part of Cendana, which is great, So he is an absolutely amazing guy, and his songs, you will definitely love his stuff because it's just so quirky and it gets straight to the point. It's not so much about love and all that. He talks about real issues, and that's what's amazing about him. Okay, so this is the legend, the man himself. Let's bring him on right now, Azmyl Yunor.
Woo! Hey, how's it going, Azmyl? Welcome to the show.
I'm good. Thank you. It's a good day today. Cloudy, kind of cool, nice. Yeah. Just
Yeah,
chilling.
No classes today.
I had a bonus class this morning. That's
Right.
all. I like to have bonus classes. It's like bonus track. So
What? Wait, bonus classes for the teacher or bonus classes for the students?
student lah. Yeah. So
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Once in a while I do that. Yeah, that's sort of like outside of the formal like lecture. So it's
Oh,
cool to know.
that's nice. That's nice.
Yep.
All right. Okay, Azmyl, for those of them who are watching you for the very first time, we've Darren actually introduced a whole lot about you, but tell us more about yourself. How do you wear so many different hats?
Oh, I just pursue what I find interesting lah, or and all the different bands and stuff I do is based on sometimes, especially bands lah. I've never auditioned, or I've never auditioned for members. It's always been like friends and like, hey, random things like, hey, you need a drummer, or they will ask me, hey, can you play drums? Oh, sure, yeah. Next thing I know, I reckon an album with them playing drums. So I caught myself in it, or or whatever lah. Some bands that have lasted a while. So it's always been pursuing stuff. I listen to different stuff, but I think you aptly said it just now, Darren, about being in bands. It's a bit tricky lah. Bands members come and go, and I realized very early on that I could do this on my own. When I was first experienced my first band in college, I had a chance to study overseas, and I left and I was depressed lah. But I was still writing songs. So while I was overseas and when I started busking, I realized like I can do this myself. Not that I would thought like I would, but I realized I move faster alone. And
Yeah.
That's
them to
true.
split the gig as them to split the gig. We don't have a lot of gigs, right? So them to split the pie even more smaller. So, but yeah, always pursued it based on interest and what I want to explore. And you could say the audience and the other stuff that comes with it, was a plus. And
Yep.
I wouldn't have it different lah. I think that's why I've always done things, followed my own jam, my own voice.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
Yeah, I'm lucky that there's audience.
So
So-
as an artist, like how, I mean, of course, music is your, I guess, your main passion, I would say, but then there's also education, and then there's the Chandana thing, where you're on the panel, and then, you do a bunch of other things as well. How did you end up getting involved with all those things?
I think just that goes through the decades and years of just really being in the thick of things. I think I've in a way I've had the pleasure of transcending the different scenes. I started out really from the punk DIY scene was my entry point. Ironically, even though because they started organizing shows with solo singer-songwriters. Then I have a noise rock band that was around the same time, and we were signed to a Chinese underground label. So I got to know the Chinese underground scene. Then I had, like the punk band I knew, like I was in, like Ben's Beaches, all this stuff. So they were on that scene, and and I started playing the indie gigs when I got my backing band Cigarettes. So I started seeing all the different landscapes of what things were going and how some parts wouldn't know even the other exists, right? Because with the different scenes, and then touring the smaller towns. And how that translated, I think, to the things like Cindana also, I was invited on the panel. It's ironic because, I've never seen myself as necessarily part of the industry, but maybe that gives me a different perspective. They did that. And also as academic, I realized that I could share in academic form, a lot of I teach performing arts and filmmaking, and some music students too. So that kind of helps. So things kind of translated into that. Yeah.
Right, perfect. Yeah, I think it's absolutely important, especially when you're a lecturer, to have real life experiences rather than because I know some lecturers who've never worked a real job, but then they're teaching like advertising or whatever, but they've never worked in an advertising firm before, So I think like being a person like you got real life experience, doing real stuff, and then when you teach these kids, it's actually 10 times more valuable than what their college punya degree is.
True,
so I think
true.
it's
You
great
got to be in the
stuff.
trenches lah. You got to be in the trenches and come back and do the reporting how it is out there. Realistic lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very needed.
Technically, you're just walking the talk, lah. Basically, you know what you're talking about, So
That's
when
true,
you
that's true.
deliver that to the rest of the students, they know that hey, this guy's done that. He's been there. He's done that, and he's sharing his experience with us,
Yeah.
which is priceless actually. But
That's true,
how do you divide yourself? Okay, this is Azmyl the lecturer. This is Azmyl the musician.
Well, I'll be honestly, early on it was tricky. I mean, the previous place I worked, being a musician, because it's not surrounded by fellow creative people, so I was a token musician, right? So people see, hey, Azmyl's here, sing us a song. I said, no way, man, come my gig, man. I'm not gonna sing. People do that. Hey, we have this event. Can you sing a song? No. So you have to put your foot down, have some dignity. But I think so for a while I was splitting those two worlds, very differently.
Yeah.
But I think when I moved to the current university I'm in, it was the performing arts. I felt like for once and that was very attractive. That's why I moved there, so I could share some of my good and bad experiences and seeing what they are. You see a bit of yourself in the students, and you suddenly look at them like, oh man. So now I could have those both worlds coalesce with each other, and I do a lot of research, and also that's a big part of what I do. I write a lot of academic books, unfortunately, but I want those translate into other writings, but those also inform. So that becomes my sort of groundwork where I could, like for example, charting the history of Malaysian popular music, for example, has been my research interest. Because there's a big gap there, even locally, right? I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
Malaysians. Where do we go to find out about history of music?
Yeah.
And a lot of, I think, when you talk about music history in Malaysia, it's always traditional music.
Correct.
So not
Yeah.
to say it's not
Yeah.
important, but hey, we're here too,
Yeah,
let's do
that's
something.
true.
We're Malaysian
That's
too,
true.
right? yeah.
I think with that kind of like history, like especially like bands and stuff, it's always like you hear it from your friend, punya uncle, punya brother or something,
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
some otai fella, will tell you, and yeah, if you go to Waikiki and lepak with them, then they will tell you all the
exactly,
stories.
exactly.
Yeah,
Those are just
backyard.
waiting. Yeah, those are just waiting to be on a page somewhere, or,
Correct,
people,
correct.
no access. Yeah, it's still a very it's who you know to get access to that history. So
Exactly.
some of that I think can I think we deserve We got so much talents, not
That's
just
true.
now, but the past who just kind of like lost in history. So I see that's the exciting part of the academic to me also now is finding that niche. Yeah.
Is
It
this
is very
research
neat.
thing kind of like published already, or it's still in the works?
Yes, I've published. I mean, like decade ago was several chapters I published. So it's ongoing. I go conferences and present, but academic books are a bit of a pain. It takes a while, man, because go publishing and they edit and so like this year suddenly I have 3 chapters that are gonna come out in different books about music but one chapter was I think I wrote it 4 or 5 years ago. Another one 2 years ago. Another one was very recent. So, but they're all coming out this year, depending. So, but again, these are academic books, so they're expensive. So this is where that knowledge transfer isn't there from academia. So that's why you got all these professors with big brains, and I think they're frustrated. Like their knowledge don't go anywhere. So, and I want to bridge that gap somehow. It's like. So I think I kind of found my calling in academia in that manner. And again, it's by chance and by doing it. That's the same thing with music, right? Like just by doing it, suddenly you realize that you realize your experience and knowledge is not in vain, lah.
Yeah.
You don't end up like the old timer, like just like my time, I'm already that generation. I got guys, my bandmates, kids nowadays. Hey, they're like, hold on, man. Like how many kids nowadays My kids are my clients. I've been like teaching 18 years, right? So they're always the same age, So so like I say, I'm also learning, from them. Tell me what's cool now, what's interesting to you.
True.
Yeah.
I like the fact that, if you look at Azmyl, on stage, and his gigging, you wouldn't know this side of him. And it's so much deeper to what he is on stage, and that's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing about Azmyl, you see. Like, he's all like, like teacher and lecturer and researcher and all that. But when he gets on stage, he's a completely different person, You see him like screaming and shouting, kicking the drums and rolling on the floor and stuff like that.
He's like this legendary rocker way. Yeah, man.
Yeah, so, and that is what's beautiful, you see.
Absolutely.
Like you're on stage and you're off stage, it's like you're two different person, but yet you're the same, So I think that is absolutely cool, lah.
It's healthy for me too, I have a release, but also I realized, I think a live show is a show. I gotta give them something,
For sure.
For
sure.
I know I'm not really terror guitar solo, but I think I can bring some personality aside from that, So I've had some injuries also lah from all this training. So
I'm
it's
sure.
like sports, man. Yeah, it's sports lah. I mean, for me, gigging is sport.
Exactly. That's why we need to stretch before a show.
Yes, exactly. People think you just like get out the car and jump, and man. So
Stretching
true,
dulu.
Yes, babe. Oh, you gotta do that, man.
Yeah.
Okay, having said that, what was the most terrifying stunt that you've done on stage that caused you a lot of pain?
Whoa, pain. Most of the time, the pain's not on stage.
It's after that,
after,
like,
right?
when you
It's
go back
after.
home and you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not fucking here.
I'll tell you one funny one. I had a gig at Laundry with my noise rock band, Maharaja Commission, where I jump around. So after the show, I'm standing at the bar and I'm like talking to friends. And like I look, and then I just move my feet, and I realized, I actually sprained my ankle.
Oh,
But I didn't realize it the whole time. Coming down, hanging out, and I was like, I sprained it. So maybe that's one. But I think the craziest was my no wave band. They were called Chipla, and we had one member who fire breathes. And
Wow.
so we used to wear crazy stuff, and there was one time we were wearing fireman's outfit, like really fireproof stuff. So that's when it started. So there's one gig we played, I think it was at Annex Central Market. We were playing opening with this Japanese one-man band, really noise band, and he started fire breathing. And usually the thing is, we would never tell the venues we had fire breathing. So, but he doesn't. Depending the space, he'll do small, but just lighter fluid and burn. So he was doing that, and I was playing the drum. We would run around the drum. I was hitting the drums, and something smelled like sotong bakar. And I was like, "Hey, what's that sotong bakar here?" Then on my hair, I was like, apparently he sprayed some lighter fluid in my back, and the fire was burning and bit my hair. So yeah, that was a close call. There could have been something more serious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Kids do not play with fire.
Yeah. Please don't. That's
Yeah.
Did you get hurt though? I mean,
No,
were
no.
you severely hurt?
No, I was just lost in my hair. I just pissed off that. Hey man, what you do, man? It's like my hair's freezy. Doesn't matter anyway. So. But serious
Always
injuries.
looking at the brighter side of things, isn't it? My hair's frizzy, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. What makes you look better? I don't know. Like gives that look. My look is all out of neglect. I don't really spend time. But injury, no. Touch wood, never. I've always been, like I said, it's calculated risk. Because when I was a kid, I always want to be a stuntman. So,
Oh wow.
because I'm a bit aware
So
of that.
getting on stage is where you get to be a stuntman lah.
Oh, yeah lah. You watch all the video, rock bands like, I want to try that out. Do that,
Yeah. Oh man, there's this one. If you're talking about being stuntman, there's this one band I absolutely love, and I've seen them twice live. Once in Singapore, once in KL when they played Rockaway. This band called Story of the Year. You should go and check them out. These guys like pusing guitar is one thing, but they jump on their amps and then backflip off the amps.
Wow,
That's crazy stuff. Yeah, backflip.
Acrobatic, man.
Acrobatic habis, and
Wow.
when I saw them in Singapore, it was a small club venue, like about laundry punya size, and they were doing the backflips too, crazy guys.
Wow, that's acrobatic, crazy, man. There you go, man. Respect. Wow. Story of the year. Okay, I'll check out on YouTube. Gotta check it out.
And then after that, he will include it in his repertoire. Until doing backflips on everything, way.
It doesn't work with folk music without backing. That's why you gotta stop the song, and I think folk. That's why the folk it disciplines me a bit. Usually I go to crazy someone that's in a band mode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you go the music stops, and what you're gonna flip. Interesting. Oh, cool. Check it out, man. All these bands that for me was, I think early on I saw this band called The Trail of Dead, and you will not by The Trail of Dead. I was in Australia and they played twice, and they blew me away. There was one of the gigs I went, so they don't do backflips, but they trash their equipment. But we had one gig, he called all the audience onto stage, so everybody was on stage. Crazy. It's like, oh man, but yeah, showmanship, exactly like you said, the story here and all that. You realize that showmanship, not at the cost of the musicianship, where it works together, is beautiful, right? Because that's what live music is. It's different.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yes.
Danger.
That actually makes you stand out in the crowd as well, because you know that I like this band, I like to watch them perform because the showmanship is incredible. People want that, and I love that about you as well. So is there like a little a little something that you tell yourself, to prepare yourself to what you're going to do on stage before you do it?
No, usually it's quite in the moment. Yeah.
Okay.
Like there's one time when I think Best Beaches was playing somewhere in Damansara Perdana. Or is it? There was this bar that closed down. Anyways, in front of the stage there was a tree. So I think there. So
I remember that place. I remember that place.
Yeah, that place. Right. So
What is it?
by then I didn't play instruments. I just played tambourine and sing with the band. So I'm in the moment. There's a tree. It's like tree. I would just run to the tree. I spin around it, try to climb it a bit hard. I got down and come back on stage just nice for the chorus. Later on, I think Fuad from Kyoto protocol said like, dude, that's like, wow, wait, that's a lot of stamina. I said, yeah, man, you do exercise, man. I did something like that. So So yeah, so after a moment, of course, I'm scanning before, like, hey, sometimes if I go to gig, maybe the first band was a bit not enough energy or nervous, so you want to kind of like, okay, maybe kasih semangat a bit. So I respond to things that's there, I like to interact with crowd a lot. We have a
Yeah.
dialogue. I like there's hecklers even nicer. It's like,
Yep.
you play on those things. It's like
Yeah. True.
Hecklers are my favorite, especially when they go like, I like your hair, or like, hey, sing one more song, whatever.
That's right. Yeah,
It's
because that's when that there's engagement, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yeah. So have you always been like this though, Azmyl? I mean, the energy that you bring to stage, I mean, was it like this when you were in Australia, busking? Did you see yourself doing this, 10, 20 years down the line?
Wow. No, actually, yeah. When I was busking, I was just, I mean, but I was observing a lot of other buskers, and I think trying to understand. I think busking forced me to think about what's your stick, because busking essentially you're playing to everyone and no one at the same time.
Yeah.
So how do you impress people? I can't juggle or step play on my, like upside down. So that's why I picked up harmonica, because when I started finding out Bob Dylan or harmonica, so I tried that out, and I could feel that in, and that if I'm lazy to sing, I just play harmonica, so I can't feel it in. And it helps also because I was Australian, the only Asian was busking then, so that made me stand out. So people would see me like, hey, weird, huh? Like this Asian guy, but the voice like that. Oh, here, Mike. Like, so that I think that was when I started to understand about I think showmanship. It was not something I had thought about before, and then I started going a lot of gigs right over there, and you see bands that nail it, and some bands that sound musically great but kind of boring to watch. And seeing bands that sometimes make mistakes and just kind of stop, but some bands make mistakes and just carry on, So I was taking mental notes, I suppose, in the long run. Not aware that in the future I would be playing bands where I would go nuts. That was a moment I felt well, it felt good, and like, I think I want to do it again. Yes, I found another joy to live music. I think when I started playing in the bands.
Nice.
So,
So I'm sure this journey wasn't all roses and butterflies and sunshine, right? So how was the journey like? What were some of the challenges that you had to face?
Wow. Man, I mean, I think one was definitely the kind of music I was making was always was not trendy, it's not the time. I tend to be kind of a outsider because I'm doing things, and I'm very aware of that like the limitations of scope, so I kind of niche, so it's okay. And I think that took a while to kind of like, first you go like, wait, why people don't like this? Why? And then start saying, okay, it's kind of niche, all right, okay, let's find out. So I just focused on the songwriting. I always love albums. I think that's why I produce albums. For me, it's like an art project, right? It's like albums, and sometimes it's good to have you already 1,000 copies in front of your face. Then you start thinking, okay, how am I gonna get this out? Yeah. Sometimes that helps out. It's in front of you. If you think too much and don't do anything, it's okay, not right. I think that the second half of that was where it was I had to relearn a lot of things, like how do you promote your work? Going to the press, writing press release. Then you start realizing like that's important. That's something that I think a lot of, if you're formally trained in music or even film, you don't learn those things.
Exactly.
I majored in film and journalism, so nothing in filmmaking taught us about marketing. Nothing. I mean, like not even marketing, just like making yourself known. It's just what do you do?
How to promote yourself.
Yeah. So the journalism part of my major helped a lot. The writing. So I understood what the press needed, what's needed, and but I think for me the trying times were really, I think, trying to creatively I think trying to find my own voice, really, like my Malay songs especially. Knowing what should be the philosophy, and I think with the philosophy I ended up with that I know what I don't want to do. I think it was that simple. That like there's all these songs I can't sing like that. Malay ballad, mud rock. I mean, like Tok Kapak can sing. Like tarik tinggi. I sang some songs minus one in school, but cannot lah. That's not me. So
Yeah,
struggling to find your own voice, I think creatively was always the journey.
Yeah.
And I think everybody kind of relates to that. Like if you do music, your own thing. You start
true.
off with imitation.
Yeah.
That's always important. You learn.
Yep.
Then after that, okay, what next?
Mm.
So I think that was
Yeah, man. I think it's absolutely true. I mean, like you always start off like imitating, and then you find your voice. Like I know a lot of artists that like some will find their voice early, but some still struggle. That
Right.
they're constantly changing, or they're unsure, or they're constantly comparing themselves to others. And like
That's true.
just consumed by all these like thoughts and emotions that they lose themselves in all of this, and then eventually they just fizzle out. So
That's
I
true.
think that's
That's
important.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also I
I was
wanted
a
to
late
add,
bloomer.
like, yeah.
I was a late bloomer, so I had time. No rush. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think like with education, like earlier on you mentioned like, in education, they don't teach you how to market yourself as an artist. They don't teach you like press releases and stuff like that. And these are things that you will never ever learn from. I guess you can learn from the internet lah now, with YouTube and Facebook and like Google, that you can search for all these things. But if you're starting out, maybe you don't even know that the marketing portion of being an artist is absolutely important,
That's true.
So,
Very true.
books and all that will teach you to a certain level, but true experience is what will get you far,
That's true.
Yeah.
You got to be curious and find out your own, because even university courses can split, right? You study marketing, you don't know anything about like the music scene or whatever, right?
That's
true.
true.
So the way the courses are, it's just the system lah, So so I think if you figure that out early on, I think then you know what the game's all about, and that's where I think it gets interesting lah.
I mean, like education, I remember because like. I mean, I'm just like you too. I mean, you teach like film and all that. I teach English, right? Or at least I used to teach English. And everything that I learned when I was in uni, when I actually got to a class, I realized that everything that I learned was just head knowledge. I didn't even know how to teach for real until after my first year of teaching. And then I realized, okay, this is how you really do it, But also I was thankful, like I got into a nice uni that had like good teacher trainers as well, they're professionals, and it was all sorted, but that's education lah.
It's interesting, right? It's interesting. It's an interesting journey, right? Education, and man, it's what you call this? You see different types of lecturers, and some are the more straight-laced one, and also like sometimes you also understand, at that level, it's okay to not know things. I think students sometimes they feel like, because when you look at yourself at that age, right? It's like, shit, I don't know shit too, man. So, it takes one to know. And like the naughty kids, it takes one to know one, man. Shit. Then they're like, hey, lecturer naughty, nakal, never do homework. Oh man. Interesting.
Now, Azmyl, your music is always very real, very raw, and you actually chose to, bring your music out in Malay though. Why did you choose that path?
I thought it was a early on interesting challenge, and also I think that the Malay language hasn't been explored in the way I was curious of trying. Like I always wanted colloquial Malay language. Like I was growing up, teaching bahasa baku, mengapa kamu di sana. Nobody speaks like that. The TVs, film will have that, right? But where's the real voices? And then when I started to pay attention to maybe more comedic songs, had a lot of that. And then of course, like if you see like the Western singers and all, they sing how they speak, and that was kind of missing, right? And again, I think through that process of just observing, I kind of like discovered what I want to try, because it was also me experimenting the language, trying different things. It's very different form, right? Malay language, because it's kind of long, like like for example, walau bagaimanapun. That's a damn long word, and you write that out, walau bagaimanapun, right? So
longest words in Malay.
so you could have a chorus with that, man, just one word. So I find it interesting, and we're bilingual anyway, right? I think most Malaysians are at least minimally bilingual, or above. So So for me, that's also celebrating the Malaysianness. The only thing last time was like I would do Malay songs and English songs, but now I'm trying to, with the new album, I'm fitting in some English words in the Malay song because that's how we speak, Some sentences in and out. So yeah, it's also it keeps me interested in the songwriting. That's very important lah.
Yeah. I think like colloquial stuff like in hip hop in Malaysia, it happens a lot, I mean, like if you go back in time, like Too Fat and all that, they had already started using that, Too Fat, Teh Tarik Crew. And there was one really cool Malaysian element that they use, there's always like the keroncong or some Malay traditional instrument in their music, even though it's hip hop, right? So and that's the beauty about it, making it like localizing it and making it theirs and owning it, and then so with hip hop, even like the language, the lyrics, there's always a lot of wordplay, and also the colloquialism in their singing, which is great. But
I always admire
rock, in
I always
rock,
admire the hip hop,
in rock not so much,
Yes.
at least in Malaysia. But I think like with what you do, I think you are an absolute gem, that you are, I feel that you're kind of the only one left out of that whole singer-songwriter gang, like, because I know, because you came, like I feel that I came one layer after you, so there was you and Reza, my brother, and all these guys, Peter and Makiza and all that, and then there's us, but when it came to us, like I was writing like real pop music already, I didn't even like write like that kind of the way you wrote, and I think right now you are pretty much the only guy left like from that era.
I think just stick around, my tip would just stick around. But I remember when there was one gig that Troubadours organized at No Black Tie. You played your brother, I remember.
Yeah.
I think one of the first few times, right?
Correct. That was also like, the spur of the moment. Yeah.
Nice. That's true. But yeah, like I said, I always admired hip hop for its lyricism and it's the way playing elements, because I think hip hop sampling and borrowing is a big part of it. So there's and using everyday terms. So, and hip hop's a folk genre, by the way, So, but when people think folk Malaysia, they always think acoustic guitar. But folk means coming from the people, right? Yeah. So I always admire you. Yeah, I think you put it well. I might be closer to genealogically to hip hop than the rock, right? Because of that. Yeah, inspiration wise.
Well, technically, Azmyl, you've told us that you've checked out the landscape of music because you've always crossed over from here, there, and everywhere. It's never too late to actually cross over to hip hop,
Yeah. I might. It's gonna fit some stories in a short song, right? So
pretty cool.
I have to sing it faster, and who knows? Yeah.
And you can do more stunts with hip hop too. You never know.
I don't have to bring a guitar. That's a relief.
You bring USB, bro. USB.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, that's a relief, man. Yeah, there you go. Well, now got cloud, bro. I just need
here's the Google Drive link.
Yes. Because I'm a guitarist by default, really, because that is a very mobile instrument, right? So yeah. That's why I think it's I try different instruments, like they call me multi-instrumentalist, but I'm jack of trades, but not master of none. I play differently enough for what I need, but I can't master it. I don't sit down long enough. But yeah, who knows? The next one, curious. I might explore that. Yeah.
I think, anyone who can play all sorts of instrument, you guys are like amazing, because I can't even take out one instrument and you guys can play everything. So that's brilliant. So well done.
Hey, you play the mic well.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's an instrument, yeah.
All right, if you just joined us, welcome to Pop On Stage. This afternoon, we're speaking to Azmyl Yunor. If you have a question, you are more than welcome to type it down in the comment section below. Of course, Azmyl just released a brand new single, and it's called Penghasut Blues. So tell us more about this single, Azmyl.
Okay. So I think, with my kind of material, I've always been kind of like very, very socially aware kind of songs, right? Talking of the moment. So I think the album where Penghasut Blues come from, the album's called John Bungy Blues, was the songs came very quick to me. After my kids were born, and it was 2018, 2019, I was writing these songs while I was babysitting them. So there's a myth, right? Like people say, oh, when you get kids, you have no time. Depends how you treat it. So the songs became short and snappy, and because I was playing it, they were there, so things came quick. So, and suddenly, less than a year, I had like more than 10 songs that was just ready for something. So I tried playing with my usual band, Orkis Padu, but they're a bit different style. So I thought I'll just do a one man and guitar album. I spoke to my co-producer Ari Vahir, also a singer-songwriter, one of the survivors from the singer-songwriter years.
Also another legend.
So he would say one man guitar. Okay, but there was a gig coming up and I tried acoustic. I got my Maharaja Commission drummer Amar to play with me, and Christopher Chong, who also sessions with Orkis Padu. He's with Salam Music. So suddenly it just didn't you just know it. The song just didn't jump out. So I took my Telecaster, put on the distortion. It's like, yeah, now we're talking about it. Like you tambah gula and all this is it, man. So it was very quick. So we had a gig 31st August 2019. We rehearsed for that. We didn't meet for 2 months. There was a gig coming up in November. I told the guys, hey, between that I was thinking, let's record this stuff, man. Let's record it live. Okay. So we rehearsed. The recording was also rehearsal for the gig, actually. So it was, I think, we nailed it down, the whole album, in 3 hours. And I think the song that stood out, that really benefited from having the band really just into a trio, just pure energy, was Penghasut Blues. And it had that riff, which I actually wrote on they call it a cigar box guitar. I found in MPH bookstore. They were selling, like, it was a discount. A friend was telling me. So it's like this box with a neck and strings. So, and I bought that. So a different tuning, and I came up that riff on that. Then I tried to translate it on guitar, and it came out into that E blues chord. And for me, riffs are I'm a great admirer of riffs. All the classic rock riffs. But I never really come up with any. So I was really happy with this one. I couldn't stop playing that. And I think that really became the song eventually. And the song, had that sort of like very like garang energy, It's like, and I think about things were happening around the world, like injustice, corruption. I thought, great. I think this is something that resonates, and this is something that go cross time because there's always these jokers out there, right? Whoever they are. But anywhere in the world, it's not unique to here. So, and that became a song. It was a very plaintive song, and I threw in some peribahasa Melayu, like tupai, references to that. And that's what I also enjoy doing. Like, why we learn all this peribahasa in school, right? I didn't want to take away that knowledge. So,
Make use of it.
Use it, man. You forced me to learn this stuff, and I'm using it. So that's the background song, really. I think it's about justice. The whole song is just about that, who instigates something. The blues can be from both sides, the one being chased and one chasing. So I think it really encapsulates that, and I think it's a great departure from what people expect of me. The kind of style I do, and I like that. I like the fact you pull the carpet under people. I think it's the closest I have to my live. Even though sometimes I play acoustic, but sometimes I'm shouting also live, just for the moment. So I think because this album benefited from the live recording, we knocked it out in 3 hours, 10 songs. It's the most economical album. So that's a good tip, boys and girls. Just if you plan to record live, just nail it down. Get everybody on the same page. Go in, top, done. Go kopitiam, lepak. We're done.
Exactly. And it's
like,
also cost efficient too,
Exactly,
like let's say if it's $100 an hour, you pay 300 ringgit ni, okay what,
Exactly. Yeah, there's ways to work around it. My creativity is defined by my limits too. Like, okay, how much budget do I have? Because I got to be very sensible about that. Because I don't sell by the truckloads, whatever I do. And I've got to be smart with that, and and I tour, so I still need to do CDs because when you tour, you want to sell merch, T-shirts or CD, right? So I still made a CD format, and I haven't shared it on any of the on the streaming services yet. It will be eventually on Spotify, but not yet because I'm trying to force people go my Bandcamp, and actually I managed to there are people who bought the digital album, so that helps a lot to kind of
Yeah.
cover the cost. So you gotta find what works for you. So, but the video was also interesting. It's a guy who I collaborate a lot. He's a filmmaker, Wee Jun. He did my video called Charity Lane. You can check it out on my YouTube channel, and we did one called Bersindirila. And during the MCO, they came out this project where different musicians kind of like remotely record and use one of my songs. So, but I like his energy. He's very punk rock. He's like, let's do this. You go there like off the cuff energy, and what you end up is in the video, which is I like the humor that he has, because you're gonna sing something that's thematically like this. It's got to be endearing, lah. It can't be like boring, lah. It's like, that's a trick of, I guess, the kind of material I do. It's got to have levity. You might be dealing with heavy stuff, and humor too. Somewhere in between. You're not being kelakar lawak. This is like dark humor a bit. So, and I'm a big admirer of stand-up comedians, and stand-up comedians don't tell jokes; they tell real
Life
stories.
stories.
Yeah, and we laugh because we see ourselves in it, right? I think that's important. Yeah.
But to actually come up with something like that, it takes a lot of thought, isn't it? I mean, to think how to bring the message out and yet not offend anybody, but to make it a little funny and inject a little humor. So what's your thought process behind it though?
Okay, simple. I've always tried to bypass thought when it comes to songwriting. I'm always they say there's a school of two schools of thought in songwriting. They say there's the Bob Dylan school of thought and there's Leonard Cohen. So Leonard Cohen, he writes a song for 6 months and he's got the revisions and drafts, and then he lets out to the world. And then he asked Bob Dylan, how long took your song to finish? Bob Dylan said 3 minutes. So I'm of that school. First thought, best thought. But that takes practice lah. You gotta. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't work too. But what I mean by bypass thought is that you don't want to dwell too long. If something stays with you, then there's something in it, and you got to know when to self-edit lah. Like, you tried this song so long, doesn't work. Move on. Come back 6 months later, and it happened to me. It's like an old friend. Hey, remember me? It's like, oh yeah, pick it out again. Like, then you see a fresh perspective. So you got to find, I think, different strategies to deal with yourself first. I think sometimes when it comes to songwriting, we think too much about what the audience wants. So that's always been my way. Not to say there's no thought. There's a lot of thought in trying to bypass thought, right? It's like tricking yourself. So it's about immediacy lah. Keeping the language simple, keeping it direct, and hopefully you got a catchy melody lah. It's always important.
Very nice, very nice. So when did you think about this song? I mean, was there a particular inspiration that made you sit down and write about it?
This was, I can bring you exactly the time when this came out. It was after the 2018 elections. So it's right after that. I still had the ink on my finger, and it's more like envisioning like, okay, if this was a movie, the bad guys are gonna try to leave. Okay? So then the people, good guys, are like trying to find where this guy gonna live. And that's where that line, mana kau nak lari tu lah. Like, oh, you did wrong, man. Why you wanna go? Hey, come back here. So I think that Wee Jun nailed that with the video with me playing this. I don't know what I am. I'm a goblin or something. I'm chasing this guy, or am I the conscience, of the thief or whoever it is. So it was about that time. It was fresh after that because you the excitement of the just the zeitgeist, right, of that moment. The last decade, Malaysia. So that was for a long while. It took a while to how do you channel that energy without being too literal. It's the danger of being very literal, right? This person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and because you want something that maybe audiences abroad will understand, kind of like get the vibe too.
Correct.
Yeah. So I think it was just nice timing. I think if I had recorded a song a year earlier or a year after, it would be different lah. Maybe the energy is not there.
Correct. And the vibe will be different and the message will be different as well.
Definitely, there's a lot of nervous energy too, recording live, because like it goes into that performance, and yeah, it's not one thing I think with that song. There's some friends who don't like that song. It's like, oh, why is that busy song, man? It's like, hey man, that's the hit. I know this is a hit, so that's why it's the first song on the album. Like play and this is in your face. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so has the album been released or has yet to be released?
Already released. I released it last year, Malaysia
Okay.
Day. So I did home deliveries because
Oh, that's nice.
yeah, people used to get things being delivered to them now, so you gotta adapt to that, right? So I launched it on Malaysia Day. I always love launching on symbolic days. And there was a gig that happened on Malaysia Day. I played at Berdekaria. I couldn't play the band because of SOPs. So
Yeah.
just that kind of occasion to launch it. But the album wasn't out. The printing only came 10 days later. So then I just went on the road, deliver. I think there's a nice thing to that. There's also a personal touch. Yeah, there's sembang-sembang with,
People
and-
appreciate it too.
Yeah, definitely. I think gigs not happening, so you make other things happen. So that's why I think it's very important to have a body of work.
Yeah.
That you have something to sort of impart and share with people. But yeah, it was launched and also a lot of mail orders, putting in some stores. And from what I heard from guys who are running record stores, it's like actually sales hasn't dropped because people are ordering now. Can mail order, ma?
Correct.
You have to go to the shop, right? So physical albums are still there. I don't think it's will be replaced. So it's a combination. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the culture of physical has never left, especially if you're an artist, and you're an artist that started in I would say, like in the past, if you're an artist that started in the past, you will still continue, okay lah, I want to make CDs, because if you're an artist now, they don't even know where to go lah to make CD, you know what I mean?
That's true.
Like, everything's
That's
just
true.
released digitally,
That's true.
So
That's true.
but I feel that there's always that value in holding a CD or a cassette, or even like an LP, right? So
Yes.
and the culture now, it's funny because like guys who are like the older kids now are buying records, like
Yes.
you don't like record players are so expensive, but people are investing into that, nice tube amp and stuff like that,
That's
nice
dangerous, man.
speakers and
Yes.
stuff like that, right?
Yes.
But there's just something about it, and it
Yes.
will continue to roll on, so it's like, oh, okay lah, I just want to put out digital music lah, that is when you're like like an infant, and then as you grow older and you're in the scene longer, then you'll be like, okay, I think we need to go back to the past a bit, I feel that there's just more value to it.
True, because it's what you call this. Nothing is tangible. You can hold.
Yeah.
It's also your individual experience. But what you said, like the generation now, the experience might be straight away streaming music, which is just here, right? Whereas I guess my generation, a bit of yours, is like when you grow up, you buy the album and so you open the album, you hopefully can see the band. There's no photo. Oh man, it's mysterious. So you see the concept album and you look in the lyrics. Wow, what's this, man? It's like, it's the entire experience of consuming an album. It's the whole ritual. And plus, it looks cooler. You can put it on your shelf. I mean, you got digital. It's all in
You
your
got nothing
phone.
to show.
It's just files. So it's interesting. Yeah, that's a good point. Right? I released a cassette EP with a Singaporean singer-songwriter like 7 years ago. So we did a cassette, but it came a download code. So that one sold out because people want the physical part, even though there's a download to it. So yeah, it's true what you said. There'll always be value to it, because I think nothing beats a tangible piece of work lah.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
But I'm not
Okay,
gonna
so
go
we-
around like I'm not gonna go like, oh, in my time. No, none of that.
Be funny. Okay, we've spoken about the song. If you're wondering what the song sounds like, I think it's about time we roll the song. Here's Azmyl's Penghasut Blues on AF Radio.
Penghasut Blues, Penghasut Blues, mana kau nak lagi tu? Penghasut Blues, Penghasut Blues, Penghasut Blues, mana kau nak lagi tu? Dulu mah Mekah, cakap besar, penuh hela, asyik memecah belah. Perut kenyang, makin lantang, asyik makan, asa dan duit orang. Penghasut blues, penghasut blues, penghasut blues, mana kau nak lagi tu? Penghasut blues, penghasut blues, penghasut blues, mana kau nak lagi? Hey!
Alright.
Nice one. Woo! So where can
Glasses.
where can our viewers go out to check out this song?
I would tell you to go to my YouTube page, listen and check out the song's music video together. I think it's a nice combination. It's like a dish. You get a video and the song. But if you want to hear just audio, go to my Bandcamp, azmyl.bandcamp.com. Right? And we'll see. Maybe later in the year, I'll release it as a single on Spotify, just for so that it be in reach. But at the meantime, I'm really pushing the video because it's also showing the love to, I think, not just the music community, but also to the larger creative community, which is also the film and the guys involved. So my YouTube channel, Azmyl Yunor, check it out. I've got a lot. My videos are hopefully as endearing. They're quite funny. So please do check it out. All DIY, low budget, but I'm skimping on quality. Yeah.
Nice, very nice. Now, with the song having its own little story, I'm just curious though, what do you hope people would feel when they listen to it?
Wow. Well, I hope people will first feel moved and something within them stirs, and hopefully, drive them to put into action what's needed for justice to be done. And I think that's it. That can be political, can be social, whatever it is. I think it's about that. It's about really, it's got a driving beat because I do it, man. And just rallying on. I think it's a good cheerleading song for that kind of endeavor. So yeah, hopefully people are called into action. I think that's ultimately what I hope. While also boogieing, he's got a nice backbeat, right? So it's not just like I said, it's not a lecture. So I think essentially it's a 2-chord song, E and A. Yeah, economical song too. I saved up on chords.
Not
there you
bad,
go.
not bad at all. So there you go. Go check out Azmyl's YouTube page, his Bandcamp as well, and every other social media platform. The song's available, and I think you'd be inspired as well when you listen to the track, because I was. What else are you working on?
I'm really focusing on content for my YouTube page. I'm working on music videos and lyric videos. I've realized that because my lyrics are quite central to my songs, and the medium of lyric video I think is just timely, just fits what I'm doing. I experimented last year. I released one of the songs from the album called Pada, but you gotta find the right time. I realized that. So I'm a bit of a news junkie, so I follow what's going on to get a sense, and my song kind of resonates between what's in the news. I realized that. So it worked, the experiment. So, and actually it was the whole MCO that really made me get my act together with the YouTube channel, because I so all this time I had it, but I was just not
Procrastinating.
Procrastinating, yes. Just let it ferment for a while. I think I need to take it out now, so it's ready. So yeah,
Nice.
plus it's also me flexing my what I teach and what I'm trained to do. And I
Correct.
think it's time, which is in film, and I love the collaboration. I collaborate with filmmaker friends and some students. I would tell them just go wild, experiment, and give them a challenge. I only got this much budget and this much, and tell them this, only do this, don't go too far. Okay, let's try it out. And some of them, I think most of them, nobody's told me they didn't like experience. But they always enjoy it. I guess the immediacy of it. So that's also translating my work ethic and my philosophy, which is let's get it done quick. Not just because to be quick, but keep it fresh.
Yeah.
It's like kway teow goreng. You let it it's got to be hot off the pan, man, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Because
always gonna be fresh and relevant, huh? Nice.
yes. I think that's the
All right.
challenge often of somebody of my generation. Is like, how do you make yourself relevant? And you gotta find that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. All right. So we've actually spoken quite a while to Azmyl this afternoon. I think I've enjoyed every part of this conversation, from, spraining his ankle without realizing it, to his thought process and how he channels it through his song. He truly is a very inspirational musician, and I think you can learn a lot from him and what he's done in his whole career. It's amazing. So I think before we let you go, like every other person who's been on the show, we're going to play a little game with you. We'll ask you quick questions, you give us quick answers. Basically, we just want to know what's on your mind. So you ready?
Sure.
All right, Darren, kick it off with question 1.
All right, this one is a fun one, okay? So this one, what was your favorite subject in school?
Yeah, considering
Wow.
the fact that you're a lecturer and all, right? So thinking back in time, what was it?
Simple. It was geography.
Wow.
I actually
Really?
hated music because all we learn is the recorder.
Recorder.
The only time I enjoy music class when we go downstairs and watch it. So geography I like because I was going places, right? You see the maps and like, wow, I can daydream. I can go there. So geography.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
My favorite subject was what lah? PJ.
Oh, PJ. Oh, you get to go out and play.
Go on and play.
That's a good one. All right, number 2. If you had a chance to promote a product that represented your brand as well, what would that product be?
Oh, I will promote air kosong.
Wow.
Where's that? I don't know. We're 90% water. I think people don't drink enough water. They drink too much sugary stuff, or So yeah, it's healthy, but it's pure. It's not gimmick, right? Drink more water.
Yeah.
Where's that celebrity?
There's no fluff to it. It's original. It's pure.
Yeah, exactly. It's all around us. It's rainy season.
Okay, next
Alright.
question. Okay, what was something you've done that made you feel extreme happiness?
Wow, extreme happiness. Wow. Let's see. This can be any part of my life, right?
Yeah.
Any part. Wow. I would say it's not a particular moment per se, but I think it's always the moment when you're arriving a new place. For me, that's extreme happiness. When you're arriving somewhere that's unfamiliar, and there's a sense of liberation, anxiety,
Curiosity.
curiosity. So, and that feeling it translates to not just physical spaces, maybe a new song, maybe a new place you're performing at. So that for me is always grateful for that. I think that is for me that's happiness. Just having the privilege of being a new place for the first time. That's pure happiness to me.
Nice. All right.
Sight and smell and sound, it's all that.
So now you're a man who wears many hats. Just curious though, what do you see yourself doing when you retire?
Wow, open my hat, man. I don't know. I used to love to draw. Maybe I'll paint. I don't know. Either paint or write. One of those two things. Yeah. I think something that involves just not moving anywhere. Just in the zone.
Right.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, next one. If you could win an Olympic medal for something, what would it be for?
Wow. Let's see. If they had air guitar or air drumming, I would win that. So I love playing air drumming is my exercise, and air guitar was when I was a kid. I played tennis, so is a better equivalent than badminton racket. So yeah. So if they had that, please let's introduce that, and I would love to win that. Yeah.
Nice one. Okay, moving on to the next question. Considering that you've done so many things, right? What is the one dream that you have yet to achieve?
Wow. Well, that's tricky, man. Maybe retire. That's one one dream I've yet to achieve, to retire, because it's a dream because you imagine so many things you could do if you retire. But at the same time, it's scary too. I don't want to retire. So I guess that's why it's a dream, because it's yeah,
It's in far distant away.
yeah.
All right, our final
All right.
question this afternoon.
Alrighty.
All right. If there was a movie made about you, who would you want to play you?
Wow. Who? Wow, that's tricky, man. Wow. Any actor around the world, huh?
Yep.
Anyone.
Yep, anyone.
Wow, tricky. It wouldn't be typical. Because if I'm on screen, I don't want people to really know me for real. So let's see. I would say Winona Ryder.
Wow.
Somebody, hey, wow, Azmyl's that? It's like, yeah, what do you think it is? Is it a girl, guy? No, that's not the point. Yeah. So take the attention away from that. Yeah. Winona Ryder, circa Reality Bites.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, kids, do your homework. I Google Reality Bites.
Yeah, today everybody's gonna go home and check out Reality Bites. All right,
Very good.
Azmyl, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. It has been an extreme pleasure having
Pleasure.
you on the show. Before we let you go, any last words that you have for our viewers, your fans, and maybe people who are, watching you and looking at you as a role model as well?
Wow, tricky. Oh, wow. Whew. Simple. I think just have principles, and do what you do. Maintain your dignity, and always challenge yourself, because I think if you challenge yourself, you will discover something new about yourself that you didn't know was there. And I think the human being has so much potential, and I guess I'm living proof that I just try things, make mistakes, fine, but make something wrong, move on, learn. So there you go. Yeah, learn.
Nice.
Very nice. Perfect.
Love that. All right. So thank you so much for joining us this wonderful Friday afternoon. I
Thank you for having
am
me.
going to wish you a fantastic weekend ahead. We hope to hear
too.
from you, sometime in the future as well. Keep doing what you do and stay true to being yourself. I love how raw and real you are, and you keep that, all across, and I love that. So thank you,
Thank you.
Azmyl.
Peace.
We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
So there you go, Azmyl Yunor, right here on AFO Radio's pop-up stage. He's such a lovely person to speak to. I remember hearing him speak when I was at one of the Penang Island Jazz Festival, and on that day I was like, wow, this man's got so much stories to share.
Yep.
And to be honest, if we had a lot more time, we would go on and ask for
Yep.
that stories. But
That's
we only
true.
have that much time. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He's
don't
a-
forget to go check him out online on all your social media platforms, and also go check out his song Penghasut Blues.
Yep. Yeah, there's a killer music video for it as well. It's super good. And I like Azmyl a lot. I like his whole DIY spirit. I just like everything about him, that his music may be comedic, but it always tackles a lot of issues, and
Absolutely.
you gotta be a smart guy to be able to think that way, to insert humor into your music and to have it mean so much.
Yep.
You gotta be a great thinker, so he's definitely one of those guys, yeah. So he's obviously, if you guys don't know him, just do some research. You will know who he really is, because he's been there for a long time.
He's the kind of
yeah.
person that I would like to sit down and have coffee with and just pick
Yeah.
his brain, kind of thing.
That
That's
is
the kind of
true.
person he is, and I
Yep,
love
yep.
that about him. So to everyone who's actually dropped some messages on our comment section, thank you so much for all your messages. It's time for us to bring you now pop-up picks this Friday afternoon, where we
Yeah.
give you a few more songs to go check out over the weekend. And especially if you're not very familiar with Malaysian artists or Malaysian music, then
Mhm.
we hope to change your mind at least a little bit. Go check it out.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we have for pop-up
So
picks?
this week we've got 2 or 3 tracks that y'all should check out, but let's just go through a few of them first. This one is by a young producer by the name of Karaze. He is only 17 years old, turning
Darren
18,
is
just
so
finished
amazed by
SPM.
Karazi.
Yeah, and it's great, he's doing such a great job. I was like on the production course with him as well, and he really impressed everybody because there were people who were more senior than he was as a producer, and he totally blew everybody's minds, right? So this is his brand new track that just dropped today. It's called Meant to Be. Let's check it out.
The days have been brighter. I felt less alone. But I am a fighter. So I am never letting go. Well, your eyes, they look like the sun on the ocean. You look amazing to me. Sometimes it feels right, I can't help but show it. I think that we're meant to be. Well, your eyes, they look like the sun on the ocean. You look amazing to me. Sometimes it feels right, I can't help but show it. I think that we're meant to be.
Yeah, it's a big dance tune, like I know we've all been stuck at home, clubs are not open yet. I know there are house parties, and events at bars and stuff. But this is one of those songs, that do not belong in at a house party or a bar. It has to be a club, So if you want to bring the club to you, go on, check that track out.
I gotta say though, we've actually previewed quite a lot of Karazi's tracks, and you
Yeah,
can hear from all his tracks that he has matured and he has improved as
for
he's
sure.
gotten further along. And that's
Yeah,
brilliant for us. What 18-year-old now because he just
yeah,
completed his SPM.
yeah,
So yeah, I hope he continues working really hard, and I'm sure someday you'll know that he will be flying the Malaysian flag.
yeah, for sure.
In the international platform as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the hopes at least. Next
Yeah.
up,
All right, next one we have the guys that we spoke to last week. We spoke to Tidal, right? So they
that's
have,
right.
so they've actually got a new track out. It's called "I Miss My Friends." So let's check that song out, and then right after that, we've got one more for you guys to check out. So let's go.
All my friends, but no one calls me. I'm not afraid to say I feel lonely. Work too much, text back slowly. Blame the world, but I'm killing me softly. Don't wanna be left alone, but I'm too shy to let them know. Yeah, my friends, to all my friends, yeah, I'm so sorry. And we'll be in our minds, feeling like a rock star, dance all night. Don't need poison to come alive. Put up the Nintendo, we'll be out of sight. And highways, driveways, we can just talk under summer skies. Take me to paradise, back when life's good without a price. Now I'm lying in my bed, my phone's asleep before me. I miss all my friends, but no one calls me.
Cool. That's a very nice sounding track.
Also, a little bit about Tidal. They actually released their EP. It drops today, right? So on the 16th. So go check it out. Go follow them on their social media pages as well. They're very active. And if I'm not mistaken, they're actually having a live video session tonight to actually, speak about the whole EP. So go check them out. All right. And we
Yeah.
have one last track to
All
preview
right.
before we call it a day.
Yeah, so this one last one is again, every week we'll have to play at least one of his songs. This is another track by Kelvin Young. This is off his album Bunnies at the Carnival. I think this is the last track of that album. Yeah, it's a if you like guitar music, you will like this one, okay? I think it'll be perfect for a Friday. Let's check it out. We'll play about 30 seconds. Yeah. So that is called 31st December by Kelvin Young. Okay, so go on, check it out. All of these songs that you heard from Pop-Up Picks and the bulletin board, they are all on a playlist that I created called New Malaysian Releases. Okay, so if you head on to Spotify, just type New Malaysian Releases, you will be able to see all of them there. So I go through, playlists, and I, scout for new songs to add all the time. So if you want to hear 100% real Malaysian music, go on, check that playlist out. And I guess that, that concludes our show today. But I just want to remind you guys for two things. One is the Empower Conference that happens tomorrow from 11 a.m. all the way to 7 p.m. All you need to search for is Empower, okay? AMPOWER. You'll be able to see all the info, get all the ticketing details and all that. Now, ticketed, yes, but it's free, okay? So go on, check it out. You'll get the link to the site and all that good stuff, okay? It's good education stuff. And the other thing that you all should check out would be CAA Asia, okay? So check that out. That was the production course that I did. It's an 8-day intensive production boot camp. That'll be good for anybody and everybody.
All right. So of course, we're trying to help you expand your abilities as well, and help you along as we try to bring you the best of Malaysian talents and Malaysian music here on the show as well. Now, it's been wonderful keeping you company on a Friday afternoon. Of course, it is the month of Ramadan, so happy fasting to all our friends. And for those of you who are back at work, do stay safe all the time, and the SOPs must be carried out as strict as possible, guys, because we really want to go out and have fun like normal. Well, that's like so far away, but yeah, it's a hope, at least, fingers crossed. Anyway, if you are a Malaysian talent, if you are a Malaysian artist and you'd like to be featured on the show, we'd love to have you on the show as well. Don't forget, drop us a line, an email to popupstagemy@gmail.com, and we would schedule you in, and then we'll have a chat. That's pretty cool.
For sure.
All right, next week we're gonna have another band that's been around for a while now. They were really big in the 90s.
No lah, not 90s.
Early 2000s. Early
2000s,
2000s. Yeah,
2000s.
correct. Early 2000s.
Oh, they're still
far
big.
away though. Yeah, they still are very big. And I tried to get them sometime last year, but I think plans just fell through. But I'm glad that we've already secured them for next week. So I'm looking forward to that one. So till then, we're gonna wish you a fantastic weekend ahead. Thank you so much for joining us on Pop-Up Stage. It's Darren and Mag here on AFO Radio. Have a great one, guys. Bye-bye.